Hello guys, welcome to Tech Talk with Aran and Mode. Today we're going to be discussing, is it worth switching to a mirrorless camera? What's your opinion?
No.
Just get out there and say
No, it's worth it if you, one, are not scared of change, two, have some money to invest, and three, aren't invested too much already in a system. Because from my personal standing, I have 3 Canon bodies and about 10 Canon lenses.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're also like the whole, if you got investment, for example, into glassware on one particular brand, that's not really that big of a deal because if you're using like the mirrorless camera for videos, then you'll be using manual focus regardless. So all the converters, like cheap eBay ones, they work. I got a lot of like M42 mounts and they're using an Nikon.
But I do a lot of photography as well.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, you can get the smart converters, can't you? The one that actually have
Yeah,
electronic.
but they're always going to be
quid.
a little bit slow as well.
Yeah, I guess.
Like,
so.
if I put my Canon 7200 up,
Yeah.
and I put it on a Sony camera with a converter on it, it's going to be so much slower than on a Canon only body.
Yeah,
but
I guess so.
The G Masters of Sony's are apparently really, really good, but that's like $2,500 for a 70-200 lens, and I just spent $1,800 on a Canon 70-200 lens.
Yeah, no, fair play, I understand that. But a little, like, I mean, first and foremost, what are the pros of a mirrorless camera? First and foremost, like, you don't have that many moving parts. You don't have non-moving parts pretty much. So you have a digital sensor that's always on. Again, that's one of the cons as well because it'll overheat. Well, A7S was a big problem with that overheating, especially in even the GH5s and whatnot.
Yeah.
Any warm weather will affect it heavily, which it won't happen with a DSLR. But I mean, not having, like, when you buy a used one, not having the whole thing about checking how many clicks he has gone through, I think that's good because that won't affect the camera because there's no actual moving mirror to it.
Like, I think it's like with cars. I think we're getting to a period now where no one really cares about shutter actuations and everything because these things will last a long time, and the first thing that goes probably won't even be a shutter. It'll be something electronic that goes. That something can be sorted out with software. So I think, like with cars, back in the day you could just swap out parts every now and again.
True.
Now it's more like one big system.
You just plug into a computer and mechanic and it'll tell you what's wrong.
I think the biggest thing for me is like the pros about a mirrorless camera. Like this, we'll use the A7S II for an example. Obviously the low light.
That's incredible.
The
any mirrorless camera apparently performs way better than low light.
High frame rates.
Yeah. Which high frames not particularly to a mirrorless camera, so we can get high frames on a DSLR as well.
Yeah, but you got micro four thirds with the Lumixes
Magic
as well. But you get the high frame rate, but you lack the picture quality.
No, yeah, I mean, for still photography, there was exception like with the A7S Mark II-R. Like that, what was it?
A7R2. Yeah,
what was it, like a 48 megapixel sensor it was or something? That was incredible. And still having the edge of the low light compared to normal DSLRs.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know. It's like, I think it's like, as far as mirrorless cameras goes right now, it's like if you pick up like a budget side A7 Mark II, not the S or the R, that will probably give you good enough for both worlds. You still get 120 FPS.
Yeah.
And you still get, I think it's 24 megapixel sensor or something like that. It's like still good at both worlds. And then you just pick one or the other. If you want to go video, you pick the S, and then photography R, I guess.
I think from my point of view, I'm going to upgrade in Canon. So my next upgrade, I want to go for either 5D Mark IV and save a little bit towards a new lens, or go 1DX Mark II.
Yeah, I mean, Canon, I know that Nikon, for example, there's just rumors there that Nikon is making a full mirrorless camera. Canon must be the same deal. They're jumping.
Well, they got the EOS M line.
Yeah, I guess,
But that's not a competitive for Sony.
Because it's still a cropped sensor, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not a competitive for Sony.
So I feel like a full frame mirrorless camera, I know that Nikon's working on one because they're just missing out a big gap in the market. It's so attractive, especially to young people now. Everyone's, mirrorless cameras, no, it's the way you go. They're much smaller, they're lighter. Okay, first of all, what sucks with them? So, overheating issue.
Yeah.
Battery life is shit because, I mean, your sensor needs to be always open and active instead of a DSLR just turns on when you need it. So, I think Sony 7 had like on a full res photo mode, I think it was like 240 or something pictures per one batch, which is like if you work like in a nightclub environment or even weddings and whatnot.
Yeah, when we worked,
that's
when
gonna
we worked
be
in nightclubs,
yeah.
we were taking 600 pictures a
Yeah.
night.
Like, okay, but like, that's not a big deal. Those batches are very tiny. So you
Yeah,
just
but
place them.
still, you've
But
got to
think
then.
about it working a big job like a wedding or something.
Yeah.
They'll be you're looking like around
Well,
like carrying 8 batteries.
I'm on Facebook pages of like wedding videographers,
Yeah,
and they say for Sony cameras they're taking between 10 and 12 batteries.
that's
with them.
stupid.
10 and 12 batteries with them. So you got to think about it. Okay, you don't buy the real Sony ones.
Yeah.
Like you don't buy real Nikon or Canon ones.
Oh, of course.
Say you buy third-party ones, so you're running at about between, I don't know, 10 to 15 pound per battery.
Yeah.
For an okay-ish one that will probably last you about 6 months or a year.
True.
And then, so you need 10 to 12 of them.
I mean, I think they're cheap in it. Like the
I mean, yeah, they're
third
cheap,
party
but
is
it's
probably
just
like
more like you get the Sony A7S II, then it's like with Red.
Yeah.
Like Red's a whole different
Let's not
story,
even
but
get into red cameras.
like when
yeah.
you think when people are talking about it's just a simple switch over, just change the bodies out, but then you switch in like I've got 15 Canon batteries.
Yeah.
They're not all legit Canon batteries, mostly of them.
It's regardless still. Yeah.
Since I started shooting, which was when I was like 14, so 11 years.
Yeah.
I've shot with Canon. I'm used to their. I know people like think like, it's just a picture profile. Get over it. You can change like picture profiles and get used to the look of it. But
Yeah.
I know when I go into a place and shoot, I know what I'm going to get from my camera straight away.
Yeah. You see, I mean, fair play. I think for the photography side, it will be a way more difficult switch than be for a video. For example, because I had the Nikon, the D610, and I had the Blackmagic, the cinema camera, and like the switch for the video side was nothing because you just buy a converter which has an aperture ring, and it was like I want like £11 or something on eBay.
Yeah.
And you just use all my Nikon lenses and then micro four thirds on Nikon as well for like a B-roll camera.
Yeah.
So for video side, I think there's absolutely no problem. I think that's just the way to go. You get better FPS. You have way higher ISOs.
Yeah.
Just I mean overheating. Okay, if you're filming, that
Yeah.
will get hot. You should probably invest in some sort of cover or like a shield or something like that. But no, I think mirrorless cameras will only get better.
Yeah, I mean they're still in like their infancy of what
Yeah.
they are. Like they've been around properly for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
That they've got so much more improved since the first ones that came out to now. Like the A7S used to overheat after like 15 minutes and shut itself off. The A7S II can last a lot longer.
Yeah. I mean they fixed the first model with the updates.
But
yeah.
I mean it only took them like a few months to fix it.
Yeah, of
like,
course.
If that's how much progress they can make from the A7S to the A7S II, and no doubt within like a month or two the A7S III is going to come out.
Yeah.
But because Sony, like even like the A9, the way that they're bringing out a new camera, like DJI bring out drones,
True.
that like no one can keep up with it. Canon messed up with the 5D Mark IV. That's just a waste of time. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, they got some things wrong, but the 6D Mark II, which got released like a week ago,
Yeah.
is just a waste of time. I've got the 6D Mark I, which came out in 2012. In 5 years, all they've done is no 4K in the Mark II.
Really?
It's a full frame camera. No 4K, 1080 60p, and 720 no, I don't even think 720 goes to 120. I think it's
That's
1080
fucked up.
60p.
That's just wrong. How much is that camera?
£2,000
That's
for the body.
stupid. I can't buy like a one of them.
I get it. It's like it's the entry level full frame for Canon, but still 4K.
Yeah.
Like I say it's not the same kind of sensor at all. But in my iPhone, I have a 4K camera.
Yeah, I think okay. For example, now a question because I think I know the answer to it, but like, I don't think that a mirrorless cameras will ever. Well, okay, not ever, but like for this amount of time, they won't be a professional photography camera. Like I've talked to the guys that
Photography
go
or video.
for photos. Like the guys know that go in soccer games.
Yeah.
And take photos.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I don't think the mirrorless cameras won't get that for quite some time.
Well, let's think about it. The only camera that can really challenge a 1DX Mark II or D5S or anything like that is the A9.
Yeah.
It's not even out like
Well,
to
price,
buy.
There's a good price tag on it as well.
Yeah, I mean it's £1,000 cheaper than the Canon and Nikon versions, but it's their first iteration.
Yeah.
Think about it like
Pros
it's
will
the
not,
1D.
Yeah. No,
for
exactly.
Nikon.
Pros will not switch if they were not guaranteed that it will be amazing.
Yeah.
And also think about it, like these pros, we're talking guys, they do like football games and like sportsmen. They probably have a kit like glass.
Money's no
probably
object
around
to them.
20 on grand investment already into it, and they know exactly how each lens works, how it performs. So you look at the whole new ecosystem, and first and foremost, Sony's getting better with the whole lenses system, but they don't have range big enough. Still to this day, they're getting there. Like,
I mean, I don't.
Zeiss and whatnot do the lenses and shit, but they still don't have big guys behind them making a big variety of lenses. They get like, I don't know, once a year they get a new lens.
Well, I think like sport, the people they're aiming the A9 at, they can't be professional sports photographers because there is no way they don't have they don't have a 400 2.8. They don't have a 400 2.8 or a whatever, like a long range lens. And that's what all
I
these
think they
people
have a 300
use.
one now. I think it's 70-300 is the biggest one made by Zeiss.
But that's still not like you got that low light, so you can bump it up to whatever you want and bump it down to like 5.6. I've shot sports and I use 70-200 on a crop sensitive body, so I get a bit further. But those professional Canon users and Nikon users, money's no object to them.
Yeah,
like they probably pay off their like a 1DX Mark II shooting 2 games.
Yeah, no, literally, exactly. No, I mean, we're talking about that level of jobs.
But you got to think that the A9 is shooting at 20 frames per second, and the 1DX is 14.
Yeah.
When you're shooting 20 frames per second, you're basically nearly shooting video.
No, 100%. But I'm thinking like, why is it so compelling for like a younger crowd to buy mirrorless cameras? Is it because
they're cool?
It's easier? What's the cool factor?
Right, you look anywhere on Instagram or anything like that, these travel vloggers and whatever.
Because it's more.
It's slow-mo video.
Yeah.
It's like dreamy looking picture profile, so shooting flat.
Okay, we have some guests. We gotta take a short break right now. Bye-bye.
Okay.
All right, guys. And we're back.
Okay, so we were talking about why you think people...
I forgot what we were talking about.
People are buying the A7s. And I was talking about Instagram.
The whole hipster thing.
Yeah. Well, look at Instagram. You've got people like Sam Calder. I don't know if you...
Don't know who the fuck those people are.
People like that who make amazing looking videos and travel around the world. And they do it with
they got money to travel around the world. Yeah, I know. I think it's the look of it as well. It's a tiny camera that looks like one of them old school film, cameras. Like
but I think it appeal. Sony have done amazing because, the price point doesn't exactly appeal to 16-year-olds starting out in film, 100%. But people who are professional appreciate what's in the camera, and that's why so many people have switched.
Exactly, because think about it, it's so weird right now, but like some like Sony A7S II, it can deliver crazy quality, and also dynamic range as well is insane. The ISO is crazy, but this camera is literally a size of a PS4 controller.
Yeah, and it weighs nothing.
Literally, and but you get cameras like for example Blackmagic Cinema, which it's a big camera, and you need a shoulder rig for that or something like that, and it will probably deliver about the same. Okay, it records to SSDs instead of SD cards.
But you've got higher bitrate recording and stuff with cinema cameras.
That's if you buy extra stuff, which would be external recorders and things, which you can do on A7S II as well. But like my cinema camera, you could not do 4K. It was locked to 30 frames a second.
Yeah.
And that camera costs like
and I mean these are the reasons why so many people have switched to it. I'm not saying like don't switch to it. I'm saying this is why I'm not switching to it. Because
is that what you're saying? Because you said you invested into Canon so much. Yeah.
Like I won't switch to. I'm not saying I won't do it in case I do, and then I'm like, oh shit.
We gotta catch you on that one.
Yeah. I'm thinking more towards. I like Canon, and I like the 1DX Mark II.
I never liked Canon. You see, I don't know if it's a thing because I never used Canon. I used like Mark III for a few times 5D, but. I don't think it's even that. I think like once you are starting photographer or just like an amateur photographer, once you buy the first camera, it will be a Nikon or Canon, most likely. Yeah. That is your side. It's like it's like this two side. Okay, now we have the whole Sony and side. Well, it's those hipster people. But most general two sides will be Canon, Nikon. Once you buy one camera, I think it feels weird to buy a different brand because you're like, oh man, I was using.
And that's why I said at the beginning, it's like as long as you're not scared of change.
Yeah.
Like as long as you're willing, like a lot of people, like it's about the technology. If you're willing to just upgrade technology, then go for it. But I honestly think Canon have made mistakes with the last two cameras they brought out.
I think.
But Nikon have no chance with video yet. Unless they're working on something really, really cool, they've got no chance with video.
Nikon's been sucking on video since the beginning days, man.
Yeah, and
Nothing
I think
came out.
ever since the 5D Mark II, Canon took video a bit seriously. But
Yeah,
I just think, I don't know what it is, whether they just got scared or whatever, or just forgot that Sony's there. But they had a chance with the 5D Mark IV and the 6D Mark II to do something different.
one other plus for Canon side, I gotta say, because for video guys, you can put like the magic lens on it on the firmware, which there is no there's no available
that's
hacks
not
on
something
icons.
that like someone who uses who does photo like video work full time, they're not going to use magic lantern.
I don't know, man. I would find it very useful, especially when you got like the focus peaks and you can put,
I
you can
know
put the
like
markers and stuff.
the good stuff about it, but because there's always that like it happened to me, my footage got corrupt.
I heard. Okay, I heard
like
that was
one,
a
but
thing.
like before that, I loved it. Like it was amazing. I mean, marks and everything.
It is messing with the firmware. So,
and
warranty gets voided as well.
Yeah, so once you upload it on there, say you had I don't know, no one with a 1DX Mark II is going to go upload Magic Lantern to their camera.
I guess so.
It's something that is nice to have, but I mean, you've got the C line cameras with Canon C100, C100 Mark II, the new C200 that's coming out, but there's nothing exciting about Canon cameras coming out, which I'm disappointed about, but there's enough for me personally to still upgrade to.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not at the Sony A7S Mark II level wanting to upgrade.
Have you got any experience with Fujifilm mirrorless cameras?
No. Well, I know there's like the
XT
XT1s and stuff like that, but I just know people use them for photo. I don't even know what
because I think like that's the way it goes. Like the Sony, it is focused a lot on the video, but as far as I heard, the Fujifilm one, it's focused very hard on photography. And I'm thinking this one might we see the whole pro side of photography coming through will be a Fujifilm, and it will not probably be Sony.
I think what you'll see is when portability is like the main factor in what you're doing. So say like a busy wedding day, travel videographers and travel photographers, Sony's always going to win.
Yeah, it's small.
Sony's going to win because it's small.
It's small,
but people
compact.
who shoot
interviews,
people who shoot interviews, who shoot proper commercials and everything, they're going to stick with what they know.
Yeah,
like
they stick with probably with like C cameras.
Yeah, the
like,
C100, C2, like the C200 is exciting. It's a bit expensive for me, but it's still exciting.
C100 is good.
Like
for the price they drop
the C100
right now.
Mark II, which has the dual pixel autofocus, that's amazing. Like I'd love to get it, but I shoot a lot of photography, so I don't want to just put all my money into a video camera. Like the 1DX Mark II at the minute is the perfect camera for me to upgrade to, but because I've got that room to upgrade, because I want to keep with Canon and upgrade and hope within the year they come out with something else. Yeah. Then that's the reasons why I don't want to switch to Sony. If I was in your shoes, like you haven't invested that much into Nikon. Couple of lenses.
I got like 4 lenses, a camera body, batteries, some lights and that shit.
Like, and then you don't mind just shifting because
I shoot it when I went to Blackmagic. I had to switch all my lenses to it, so it's fine.
But I've got like suitcases full of Canon stuff, Canon compatible stuff, and I'm like, it'd be nice to have those things, but I just like Canon. Yeah,
I think I'm definitely I've decided now. I'm definitely switching to the Sony AS2.
I want to see obviously once you get it, I'll be having a look at it. Yeah, and I want to see how how I interact because I have never actually shot with one. No, I picked one up in Jessup's.
Yeah, I was messing around with one as well.
I've never actually shot with one. I'd like to see like what all the hype is about because I know I get it. I understand what the A7S2 is. I understand what the A7 lineup is, the A7R, and all those. But I just want to see what it is because I think if I had it in my hands, maybe I'd understand more. Yeah. But I think at the minute, when I picked it up in the shop, I was like, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah. Well, one thing for me, so as coming from a Nikon photographer side, like the whole viewfinder, that's digital. That was the strangest.
That was messing me up.
Because we've been doing photography for years now. I've been doing it for 8-9 years now, and you know exactly what you're seeing through a viewfinder, which is most times not much.
Yeah, pitch black.
But you know exactly how it's gonna work with your settings.
To frame it.
Yeah, but here now you see through a viewfinder, it's digital. You see exactly what your settings will show on a final product. and that is strange.
I know some people love it, but
I
I
know.
think I'd be the kind of person who wouldn't like it.
And also, there's a delay on it as well. When
Yeah.
you move it, it's all
Yeah.
jittery. But again, I want to say it's really cool because you can see what
it's
the
a
image
cool-
will look like.
It's a
but,
really cool concept.
but after like good 8 years of not doing that, knowing exactly what I think it takes slightly out of the learning curve what your picture will look like.
Yeah,
Because right now you'll see it.
I look through a lens and I look through a viewfinder and I know what to expect when I put
Yeah,
a
exactly.
shutter. Whatever nightclub I'm in or whatever, I know with the flash I've got, the camera I've got, the lens I've got, the settings I use, I know what's going to come out.
Yeah.
But I understand, like, you can get the same thing at Sony, but it's having that electronic viewfinder that would just mess me up because
Okay.
I have a process.
Yeah, the thing is, I wonder, is like, okay, it is easier, but I don't want to say that people won't have skill necessarily to use
Yeah,
some
yeah.
but it takes slightly out of the whole learning photography
Yeah.
a little bit because you can just literally look to that and smash
And
your
wait
buttons.
until you get a good picture.
Yeah,
and
smash
then-
your buttons until it looks cool,
Yeah.
and that was it. So it takes the whole thing of like being a professional that you could just
Yeah.
put a setting, maybe take a shot. Oh, something's a bit wonky. You press that, and then you got a good
Because
shot.
I remember my first shift at CSL Online when I
Yeah.
first went to, it was with you,
Yeah.
and I'd done a bit of nightclub photography before, so I was getting used to it.
Mm.
But now, if I can walk into any nightclub, you can do the same, and you know what settings to
Yeah.
use, what pictures you're going to expect, how to stand people with the lighting to make sure it looks nice behind. But when you introduce things like electronic viewfinders, which
It
is,
would literally mess me up.
in my opinion, kind of cheating a bit, but it's not cheating,
It's
but
not.
it's like
We have
you've
technology
learned
to
that
make.
skill, yeah, but
Yeah.
you've learned that skill, and I think that'll take a lot of getting used to for people.
Yeah.
Photographers, especially, like
100%.
videographers, not so much.
That's cool. It's electronic
Yeah,
viewfinder. That's
what
amazing.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
Like if you're outside,
Yeah.
and you can't see the screen very well, you need a loop or something.
Yeah, of
to put
course,
over the
like a viewfinder, yeah.
But you can look through, like
I
if you
know.
look through, you can't look through the viewfinder.
You probably can get a little
okay.
extension or something,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
magnifier and
But
stuff.
you look straight through the viewfinder, you can see what you're recording.
Yeah.
It's like an inbuilt loop.
Yeah, it's really cool. I know, but
And
like,
that would make a lot more sense, but for photos,
yeah.
I just don't think. I don't know whether it's me.
I'm
or
so
I don't think
excited
the
to
market's
just try
ready.
that in nightclubs. Just
Yeah.
how fast could I get used to it with like seeing through the viewfinder
Yeah.
exactly what's gonna be? I think it's cool, but like from a beginner's point, like you just got into photography, like for example, night photography is very easy to get into at the beginning, and you just started that, and it's like. You, for example, your first camera was a digital viewfinder camera. You went for a year, and then it broke, and someone gave me a DSLR. I wonder, how would you perform with that?
It's just like learning a manual car and then driving
not done
automatic. So if you've learned a manual car
Yeah.
and then you drive automatic, it's really easy. But if you learn an automatic and then go to drive manual, you have no clue what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
Yeah, it would be the
So
same
if
thing.
you
wouldn't
started off with all the bells and whistles and the easy aids and everything,
it? Yeah.
that makes it easy for you. But then when you're screwed and your A7S2 is overheated and shut down, and you
calling RAC to
get
pick
your
you up.
yeah. But what are you gonna do? Like you need to be used to be able to do that. But I think I don't know. I think it's good for like seasoned professionals and people who have done it for a long time. I don't
Yeah.
think it's a good beginner camera at all.
No, I don't
And I think that's
either.
why they priced it like.
Yeah, but you can hack camera once with the magic lens. You can't do that with the thingy. Alright, so wait, you know what? Let me just say. Okay, we had some technical difficulties, but now we're back. Let's carry on.
Yeah. So we'll start. Should we start fresh from the appearance thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me just check this. So one thing I wanted to talk about, like to end on, was how you look to a client with your equipment and how their perception kind of controls a lot of this stuff. Because if I turn up to a wedding or to a job with this one Sony camera, I know what it can do.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah.
To them, their phone is the same size as it, or their little point and shoot is the same size as it.
Yeah.
What does it look like to them? Or to like the worst thing would be like a wedding party of 300 people turn around
Yeah.
just like, what kind of people did you just hire?
No,
Because
exactly.
most likely I'll have a 55 1.8 Zeiss
Yeah.
lens and a Sony A7S II.
It just won't look professional.
No.
At least in their mind,
Yeah.
what professionals look like. It's 7200 on like 5D and a big flash.
Yeah.
That's like standards.
Yeah. I mean, people are used to that. I think it's just going to take time for people to get used to it.
Yeah.
But I know that's more of like a tiny problem to face, but it's still something to think about, because a lot of the time, if you go to like I don't know, go to a meeting with clients and they ask like, oh, what cameras do you use, blah blah blah. Like Canon, people know what Canon
Yeah.
is. People not so much know what Nikon is, like who aren't professionals, but they know the difference. Like they know that Canon and Nikon are the big two.
I think everyone knows the two
Yeah.
brands. But
But when you say, oh, I shoot on a Sony A7S Mark II, they're like, what's that?
yeah.
Their main concern will probably be how it looks. So, you know,
True.
that's the first thing they'll look at. But from someone who, you know, when you go and see these people and when you go and rock up to a job, you got to think about those things. It's things that will be in your mind no matter what. They'll be in your mind.
Yeah.
I just think that's something that people will have to get used to. It's not something that will determine what I do. Like, I'll do it regardless. I don't really mind because I know what it can do and my work speaks for itself. It's not about what I use. It's about how it looks. But I
True.
think to a client, it's important to think about those kind of things.
You know,
as
like
well.
one thing you said, like, you know, it'll take some time to get used to it. I don't think that's a thing because think about it, like technology. Old generation, a lot of it got left behind with technology. I
Yeah.
think that's on my take as well. Just a years to filter through, and then like the younger generation
Yeah.
that grew up with that, they will understand that as a standard.
Yeah.
I think the older generation most likely will just leave it out there because think about it, professional cameras, it's a lot of times it's out of the range with most people that
Yeah.
are not into photography because
Yeah.
they don't
Yeah.
they don't know what's 5D or 12D. They both
Yeah.
look similar. One is bigger, that's probably better.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Well, I think it's just like it.
Wait.
Like,
Oh, guys.
like the way that it's taken, you know, time for people to understand that turning up with a massive camera on your shoulder with a VHS tape in it isn't what videoing is anymore. It's about
Yes.
portability. I think it's easy for people to adapt to it. It's just because it's only been around 3 or 4 years. Like
Yeah.
when I look at forums and stuff with wedding videographers and everything like that, it's like the first year they came out, like a few people had it. Now a majority of people
Yeah,
have got it.
but
So-
also think about it, like another massive pro for a mirrorless cameras. It's the portability and also the strain on yourself as a photographer for like a big event. You don't want to be dragging on the camera that weighs like a lot. You have one of these cameras, and for example, even the 7200 lens, which they do have now from Zeiss, it's light as hell, and you
Yeah.
can get same quality out of it, if not better to some cases.
Yeah.
So that's a massive pro for you working. If you're used to working like, you know, big events.
from like a professional standpoint. When I say professional, I don't mean like, oh, I'm really good. I mean like someone who
People
does
that
it for
make
their job.
money full time, yeah.
Like it makes sense, that portability. So if you do stuff like, I don't do many weddings or anything like that where I need to be like, oh, running around with a camera at the minute. But when I go into it, maybe like when I do it, when I do like a big Asian wedding, like 3 days, 14 hours a day,
no,
my
100%.
arms feel like they're going to fall
Yeah.
off. Which is why I'm going to get a Xeon crane, you know, the
Oh,
gimbal.
Yeah, that's cool.
but because I don't need the Ronin. Like the Ronin's good,
Too big.
but I'm not shooting enough.
You're not using a red.
Yeah, I'm not like the 1DX Mark II will have to be a Ronin if I want it.
It's heavy, yeah.
Yeah, but for like things like the 60, the 70D, which I use for the autofocus,
Yeah.
will be perfect on that crane.
Yeah, I think
It,
so.
it holds a 5D Mark IV,
That's perfect.
and like 11 to 16 or 16 to 35 or whatever it is, 24 to 1, whatever you want to put on it, it'll balance it out. And
100%.
those kind of things, like before, like last year, you could only really get mirrorless cameras on. But
Yeah,
this year,
true.
you can now get
Yeah.
DSLRs on. So
No.
what happens next year?
Oh, mate.
That's
We're probably
what-
going to be all living somewhere in the ether
Yeah,
and run by AI, most
yeah.
likely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we probably just close off the video. So
Yeah.
I think it's just a short summary, really, like what we just talking about. So basically, just
So
it's-
I'm not
if it's-
changing.
Yeah, I'm changing. You are not. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll probably make a future,
Yeah, we'll talk.
update about
Yeah.
how it is. But I think it's really goes down to what will be much more comfortable for you. I mean,
Yeah.
if you are a beginner, you probably just want to try both because you probably want to just go with the mirrorless camera straight away. Because I think you're only gonna get better with the mirrorless cameras. It will get
Yeah.
better, and I think just the whole ease of use thing, you probably can learn
Yeah.
photography. Well, not learn it, but be able to take nice photos much faster than learning DSLR camera, which is a bit of a backwards way of doing it. But
Yeah, but I mean, like,
It was
there's
work.
the whole expense thing behind it. I think for someone starting off, maybe even like YouTube or something, then something like a 600D Canon.
What about GH3s? GH3s,
Yeah,
they're cheap.
Yeah,
they're really good mirrorless cameras.
Cheap camera. You don't need, like
I think mirrorless.
Yeah, a lot of people say, "Oh, the best camera you have is the one that you have in your pocket, or the one that you have next to you." Yeah, that's okay if you're just taking pictures like with your family, but when you're making a living out of it,
oh yeah, of course,
these are the things you got to think about,
no,
and this
100%.
is this process you got to go through. But to get to that stage, you need to just find your way.
Yeah,
like if I started off with Nikon, and they don't develop into video. That's why you don't have a connection with Nikon in terms of video.
I'm not sure why they never. I think it's because Canon sort of got them.
Yeah, well, but I mean that's where these
points.
two different points of view come from.
Yeah.
Because since I started, the 5D Mark II's been out since the whole time that I started taking pictures and then video. So Canon's always been used to doing video, and I'm used to being able to do a lot of good video on Canon. But Nikon, you're not used to having good quality video at your fingertips with what you've got. So I think that's what makes it easy.
I think a good part 10 will be like what you said about automatic and manual cars. If you learn automatic car and then you jump on a manual, you'll struggle. It'll probably be the same if you buy a DSLR and then you have to go use another camera. And I think it's
don't start easy. Yeah, why not try it? But it's the same as like when digital DSLRs came out. People were like, oh, you should learn on film first and then go to.
Oh, okay. But film is a bit different.
That's too big of a jump. That's
also expensive.
Yeah, because now it makes sense that you could learn on a DSLR. You could take pictures on a £200 1300D Canon camera, and then figure out what you want to do. Maybe you just want to go into photo. If you want to go to photos, stick with Canon. Yeah, or stick with Nikon.
I still want to say that. If you're looking for a budget mirrorless camera, you probably want to go with the GH3.
GH4s are going down in price now.
It's like £300, something like that. And it's a very, very good camera. Overheating issues,
and things like for YouTube vlogging and stuff, you could get a Sony RX 100 Mark III or Mark IV, which will do you great. The Mark V is amazing. Mark V shoots in 4K, and it's a little point and shoot camera, fixed lens. Or you can go towards the Canon EOS line, because they're bringing out some new cameras now with interchangeable lenses, mirrorless.
Yeah, crop sensors, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're working on it, so there's options for that. But I think we'll make a couple of videos on kind of like what's good for a starter into photography.
I mean, also let's not leave out for starters, if you are more into filming like YouTube and whatnot, a Blackmagic pocket camera. Yeah, those are very, very cheap, and they have amazing sensors inside. Yeah. Okay, micro four thirds mount. I think you can get them in camera mount as well.
Yeah, but it's the same as Lumix's. They're micro four thirds.
Yeah, exactly.
GH5s, GH4s.
There's lenses for them available, like quite a decent range as well. So I think
we'll leave it at this, and then we'll go into. I think we'll make a few videos.
We'll make a video update for almost when I get the Sony.
Yeah, when we do that, and maybe some stuff on starting out in this business, because we've had 8 years probably each
about
professional. Yeah, like making money, and 10 years just.
You can make a little starter for like a student.
Because I think things like the 50mm 1.8 and a really starter camera, which I've started friends off with those kind of things, and now they're doing.
No, I think 100%. We will make future videos about how could you probably start off in a photography business, because we already know the answer.
Yeah, and how to get jobs.
How was the best and quickest way of getting a job that will actually get you as a professional photographer in that field? Yeah, and pay you. Decent amount of money,
and then you can save up for equipment like this.
Exactly.
Because I started off with a tiny 1200.
I started with the D3000, which was ancient.
It doesn't take long. As long as you do the right stuff, you have good work. You can't. Not anyone can just do it. You've got to have a good eye.
Of course.
I mean, but that's for another video.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll discuss that next time.
I think, guys, we're gonna stop here. Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned in for the future content. Have a good day.
Goodbye.